anything from like high school or college, or even early on in your more whole foods journey that you used to eat a lot of that you don't anymore?
I'd say early on at Northwestern when I first started to make my own meals and stuff, I had a lot of like oatmeal. I've definitely gone away from that.
What's the reason for that?
I don't know. There's some compounds in it, some like anti-nutrients that I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I've just found better sources of carbs that I think I enjoy more. So I've just stayed away. I think I used to do like a chicken bacon ranch quite a bit, and that's just because I love bacon. I always choose beef over chicken. I don't really mix chicken in much, even though it is super lean. It's just not. It's an inferior meat in my opinion. But
Yeah, I used to
I don't
mix
know. It's
chicken
hard for me to
in.
go against beef.
While you're thinking, can you explain anti-nutrients to me like I'm five?
I want to. I'm gonna do a quick search. I forget which ones are specifically in oatmeal. So oatmeal has phytic acid, is what it's called, and it's an anti-nutrient. So it prevents absorption of like iron and zinc and calcium. So there's ways to make that impact less. Like with certain nuts and seeds, you can roast them, and they'll have less anti-nutrients after roasting. But I've just stayed away. Yeah. There's just do you remember when Jody talked about how some vegetables have what was her
On our podcast or a different time?
yeah. Do you remember she leptins?
That
I
might be
think she
right. That
said
sounds familiar.
I think she said she doesn't respond well to leptins, and it's a similar thing to leptins.
Is
There's
that
certain
genetic
fruit
or is that for all people?
I that's what's so hard about nutrition is you don't really know why you have the insensitivities, but like for me personally, and you've seen this, I have struggled with allergies like since COVID. It's normally in the springtime. I honestly didn't have it until COVID. I think COVID, whether it just made me more inflamed or what, but I all of a sudden would get these terrible allergies in like honestly May, June, July, and couldn't really find out why. It was triggered by some random things like sugar. I noticed was a trigger, and then certain foods I would notice like tart cherry juice would trigger me. There'd be apples would trigger me. I'd get it from strawberry every once in a while. So then I connected these things, and I think it's like a birch pollen insensitivity. They all in them that's shared. So I've stayed away from fruits like cherries, like strawberries, like avocado, kiwi.
I
There's
thought you
just a
do
lot of
avocado.
no.
You did for a while, didn't you?
I've gone back and forth, but I've stayed away since I have narrowed it down to what I think is a birch pollen insensitivity. So I haven't had any allergies yet so far, and I've been clean since. So that's right.
Even like today, eating all those foods, you're so good.
If I eat those foods,
Yeah, because I know it was like anything sugar for a while. So like today, when you ate that stuff, did you have anything?
like the sugar you're saying,
Yeah.
no, I have not had any sort of allergies since last year. So I don't know if whatever my trigger is just hasn't come yet, or if I indeed did fix it and it was related to those foods and I'm less inflamed and I'm better able to combat those issues. But yeah, it's super interesting. Everybody's so unique, and it's like some people are sensitive to gluten, some don't like dairy, some just don't tolerate like leptins. It's super interesting, but you have to take a step back and look at how you feel after your meals and be willing to eliminate things and try things that maybe you wouldn't have prior to try and feel better. I look at the allergy thing as a blessing because I don't think I would have ever known that my body didn't like or didn't tolerate those fruits well. So it holds me accountable. But yeah, it's super interesting. I could be completely wrong. Like I could do a blood test and find out that I'm completely wrong and something else is going on. But I feel great. I haven't had anything this year, so
COVID was freaky though, because I think I told you I had a really bad hives outbreak when I had COVID,
yeah.
like all over my body. And for it was probably a few months after, I think it was gluten. Anything high in gluten, I'd get some hives that would come back. And so I was thinking for a while I was going to have to go gluten free, but it's gradually reduced over time, and I haven't had it since then. But it's so weird. How does that trigger something in your body? Or was it there before, like dormant, and then it
Right.
came to life, or did it lead to something new, or is it not related at all? What a weird thing.
I try to be super self-aware of how I'm feeling, and it's a detriment at times for sure. I probably cut some things out that I don't need to, but I don't know. I feel like if you want to feel good, you got to try and do your own experiment. I think that's why we learn science. Have independent variables, have a control, test it out.
There you go.
I'm my own randomized control trial.
Is there anything else in general you avoid? Not necessarily just because how it affects you, but like I know you've like Dirty Dozen, those kinds of foods, or anything else that you typically stay away from for a specific reason.
Yeah, so I stay away from those fruits I mentioned that are on like the birch pollen list. I if I eat the Dirty Dozen, I try to make sure it's organic. I think the only one that's on there would be blueberries, maybe that I eat, but I would have to double check. I try to buy almost everything organic as long as it's reasonable price and not just dumb. But stuff like pineapple, stuff like watermelon, like there's like a shell around it, so I don't really feel the need to buy that organic. And it's on the clean 15, so there's just certain fruits I don't feel like you necessarily need to buy organic. I don't think there's much of an impact, but try to do like pasture raised organic eggs. Try to get wild Alaskan salmon. This was another different hypothesis, but same. I don't know if they're related. Vanilla, like vanilla extract and like vanilla flavored protein powder. I would get these weird like bumps in my left armpit and on the back of my neck, and I thought it was related to vanilla, either vanilla or dairy, because I would get that and like it would. I didn't know if it was like a lymph vessel or what it was, but I would get these random bumps, and I correlated it with when I would try the vanilla whey or try the vanilla extract. So could be related to the birch, could be completely wrong, but I don't have the bumps anymore. I don't eat vanilla. So interesting. Another self experiment that could be
Nice.
totally wrong.
Maybe you're just a total
Um,
weirdo.
I could be very wrong. But yeah, it's worked out. I feel good. No allergies, no bumps. Can't complain. Love my supper, love my lunch.